it might not feel as big of a shift because it's like boiling frog in a water. Every week we get some new
Okay.
update, new feature, new AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, this and that. But I think a lot has changed.
What I'm enjoying is basically how the execution cycle has collapsed significantly, I would say. The biggest change to me is that expectation from the end users have the bar has increased, the bar has raised.
So for you to build a product, you
Okay.
need knowledge and experience.
Okay.
What is happening
Okay.
is AI is replacing the knowledge part,
Okay.
can
Okay.
greatly replace the knowledge part. So over indexing on framework is another trap. I think while you're building, you should feel like you are painting on a empty canvas.
Impact on the customer. I mean, that's a big unlearning they should do. Don't assume that you're going to have a laundry of, a village to onboard your product going forward.
They don't care
Mm.
about how you are building. They don't care whether you are
Okay.
using AI or not. So if you are not
Okay.
using AI, be sure someone else who's using AI will ship faster than you.
Hey, hi, Harsh. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. I think today's we'll keep it. I would keep it slightly different. Ramesh also not joining. He's on a vacation. But today I have somebody very interesting. We're going to chat with Harsh, who leads
Everybody.
product design at Highperformr. So welcome, Harsh.
Yeah, thank you, Shri. Yeah, it's like amazing that it's sort of I keep seeing you and Ramesh talking, so it's good to be here in seat of Ramesh. Like, looking forward to have some fun chit chat.
Right, right. Sure, sure. Let me just give you a little bit of background, about you, the audience, Harsh. Right? I mean, so Harsh comes from a very good product background. Has built multiple modern products, right? Product thinking, design thinking. Very systemic in nature. By the way, for all people who don't know, he's also an author of a book, right? So, I mean, we have been working together. We have felt like felt a lot of things changing across the board. Specifically, we chat about these things, changes in the product landscape, how we are building product. So then I thought, okay, let's bring Harsh today and have a quick chat. So it's more like a builder chat, builder to builder chat. I would say, where I mean, I want to just have a open conversation to understand like how things are moving, how actually it feels if you're building in this whole time when things are changing, interface. Like Harsh comes from a very strong background about product design, conventional product design to how modern, the whole UX and UI is changing as well, right? So that's what I'm going to keep it. We'll keep it very open chat, Harsh.
Yeah.
And looking forward to a very interesting conversation today.
Yeah, sure. No, it is going to be interesting for sure. And I like builder to builder, like we have been building stuff for a long time together now. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun chat. But yeah, you are right. Like honestly, like I think the way we used to build product, and I think you and I also have built product pre-AI era, it has changed. I think it has changed would be an understatement if you ask me. Like, sort of.
Okay, okay, okay.
But
So let's
yeah, but
start
why don't
there.
you
I mean, I think
cue it
that's a
in?
yeah. Let's start there. I think if you compare 2023, product
Mhm.
building, or pre 2023 product building versus what's happening in 2025, we're pretty much done with 2025. What is the biggest shift you felt?
I think everything has changed. If you ask me, like what
Okay,
is what
okay,
what has not
okay,
changed? Like it might not feel as big of a shift because it's like boiling frog in a water. Every week we get some new
okay,
update, new feature, new AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, this and that. But I think a lot has changed. If you and I were
okay,
there in 2023, suddenly what we are doing in 2025, we would be like, whoa, what magic is happening, right? It's not just the tools, the mindset has changed, the speed with which we build is changed, the expectation from everybody, my expectation from myself, team's expectation, customers expectation. What has not changed?
okay,
I'm looking for that
okay,
area and
okay,
I find none. Everything has changed.
okay. Okay, everything has changed. Okay, but from somebody who's been a product designer, right? You've been designing multiple products. The conventional design. I'm sure you're a pre-Photoshop designer for yourself, right? To the current age of design and product building, right? I can tell you the ideas have become, I would say, super cheap today. Really, it has been everywhere. Everybody has like hundreds of ideas now. They have like few thousand ideas for everything they want to do. But I think what is interesting from what I'm seeing, Harsh, is that execution cycles have collapsed. If you ask me, as a product person, what I'm enjoying is basically how the execution cycle has collapsed significantly, I would say, right? So given that, let's say if you remember 2022, 2023, or even prior to that, fundamentally product roadmap debates were all about what to build. Correct. Most of the conversations were around that. I mean, I'm sure you also have the
Yeah.
same thought process. But I was confused to understand, like, what is happening these days. When you basically start looking at it, we have spoken about. I think Ramesh and I have spoken quite a lot about it. I strongly believe, you know, product management or product building is all about how efficient you get into prioritizing things. You should know what you should basically remove from the list for now. Right? That's
Mm.
the most important aspect, right? But having said that, now execution cycles have collapsed significantly, right? I mean, ideas are plenty, but in execution, the real value of AI as a product builder is basically execution cycles have come
Execute.
down drastically, right?
True.
But what do you think is happening in the roadmap conversation? I mean, how are you thinking about roadmap today? What goes into your head now, or what is different from 2023? The product conversation versus today.
I think I'll borrow something what you said. Ideas are cheap. I think ideas were always cheap. They've just become cheaper. Like, the ideas have become much
Okay,
cheaper with
okay,
with with,
can
with
you?
AI. Execution used to be king, but the execution has also like dramatically speed up. Like whether it's design or the code or whatever it is, the execution has also sort of in a way collapsed or accelerated, I would say. What has changed,
Okay,
I think,
okay,
is
okay,
the way you learn or build product, like building by learning. That was one thing which has
okay,
remained always the mantra of building a product. That has changed. The speed at which you learn today
okay,
is dramatically different, right? It's like
okay,
because you can ship faster, you can
okay,
learn faster.
okay,
And I think people are also have become more
okay,
forgiving of, hey, I don't want extremely polished thing to be put in front of me. Just give me something amazing, give me something which helps me do my use case, and I'm okay with that. So the
okay,
expectation from customer has
okay,
also
okay,
changed. The pace of learning has changed,
okay,
given that someone is taking advantage of that.
okay,
Because I see people are still stuck with the old mindset of building at slow pace, aiming for perfection, waiting for the feedback, waiting for the research to happen, waiting
okay,
for insights. All of that has to change. Uh, customers are adopting more rapidly, in my opinion, than the builders there, specifically with the AI. And the baseline
uh-huh,
has changed entirely. you know Teams are faster for sure. Are you shipping fast?
okay.
Are you learning fast?
Okay, interesting, interesting, Harsh. Like what you're saying. I mean, in a way, I think a lot of people, who I meet. In fact, even yesterday, I met, Mr. Founder, early stage high
Hmm.
tech, deep tech, I would say, deep tech company in the networking and AI space. Most of them reflect that. Hey, what? I asked him the same question. Hey, what do you think? How do you think product building has changed? He said, Hey, I think AI is making my teams faster. And
Uh-huh.
I just told him this. You know what? That's only the half of the truth, I would say,
True.
right? But what I felt or what I feel, what I've seen in the last couple of years, that I think AI has helped us to raise the baseline expectation. I think that's exactly what you're saying as well.
Dramatically.
Is it? Isn't it?
Yeah, dramatically.
Okay.
The way I
So,
put it is this.
I mean, just give me a kind of an idea, right?
Hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So just to basically illustrate what you are saying here, baseline expectation. So in design, and the product designers and the builders, the
Hmm.
product
Hmm.
managers would also relate with it. There used to be a lot of placeholders while you are doing stuff, right? Hey, this is a placeholder copy. Hey, this is a
Uh-huh.
placeholder
Okay.
image. Hey, I will
Okay.
replace these
Okay.
icons later. Hey, I will hash out this part of the flow later. Hey, there is nothing.
Okay.
Sorry, the placeholder is gone. If you
Hmm.
are still doing
Hmm.
your product building, designing your prototype with placeholders, you're doing it wrong. So see, the baseline is that refining those icons, images, writing
Okay.
a reasonable copy for MVP used to take time. And you would wait for a UX writer or a graphic
Hmm.
artist. Why do you
Okay.
need
Okay.
all of that, right? Of course, you need them for their expertise for the final
Hmm.
polished
Hmm.
product.
Hmm.
But hey, no more placeholder. You remember, right? It's been almost a year. We don't see any placeholder anywhere in our product mock-ups or designs or prototypes. Like placeholders are a big no. It's such a dramatic change because you would remember that
Hmm.
when we review our features, having a realistic copy, having a realistic data, having a realistic image makes huge difference how you perceive that feature. You can't review a feature with Lorem Ipsum. You can't have a screen where
Okay.
actually
Okay.
image content is the king and image is a gray patch
Okay.
saying placeholder image, right? So the baseline expectation from, hey, it's okay to have placeholders is no placeholders
Okay.
anymore. I feel uncomfortable if I see a design with placeholder content or a placeholder media. What do you think? Like,
Hmm.
I'm sure that you
Meaning
have
it
experienced
is
that
true
also.
in the expectation on both the sides. Meaning, no, yeah, Harsh, I think there is. I mean, just for the audience, I think we are recording this on a Zoom today, right? There is some lag, but I think we'll manage it. But Harsh, just getting to the point, right? See, the expectation, the baseline expectation has gone up. It has gone up on the both the sides, right? Today, I don't think in the last 12 months you could ship something very rough and say early stage. Users
Correct.
compare you with, they compare subconsciously to the products which is out of the market. They know they also expectation is high on what they can, or what they should be given as an experience, right? And I mean, that's the change. The biggest change to me is that expectation from the end users have the bar has increased, the bar has raised. So they expect a more complete product rather than an early stage products, even if it's let's say beta version or whatever. And that is one thing, right? The focus has gone from there to here. That is one. But if you want to double click, a little bit more, right? Arts, right? I want to ask you a few things, right? For example, how like what's happening? You tell me one of few things, right? Where how can the design team, product team can adapt to this change? Talk about. I remember, we had teams in the past where we had a UX designer, we had a UX copywriter, we had product managers doing a lot of research, and we also had like a huge QA teams. All these teams are shrinking right now, right?
Correct.
And Harsh, you yourself play multiple roles today, or you basically consider that part of your day job today. I'm talking about doing the UX research, looking at product research, competitor research. A lot of times you also get in customer calls. You basically are able to do the copy and then user acceptance testing as well, right? Now, that's also an impact of AI. I would assume that, right? Now, can you kind of talk about that? Do you think the product teams are shrinking?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Right. And when I say shrinking in a way, is
Okay.
that less number of people able to do more, right? See, this is how I put it. For building a product, whether you are designing or developing or doing anything,
Okay.
for a human to build a product, you need two things. You need knowledge
Mm.
and you need experience,
Okay. Okay.
right? Knowledge in terms of, hey,
Okay.
what I'm
Okay.
what I'm
Okay.
solving, what are the options for me to solve it, and the experience
Mm.
is basically your learnings that, hey, out of all these
Mm.
options, what is the best option? What do I choose?
Mm.
Decision making. So for you to build a product, you
Okay.
need knowledge and experience.
Okay.
What is happening
Okay.
is AI is replacing the knowledge part,
Okay.
can
Okay.
greatly replace the knowledge part. So AI gives you options and human makes the
Okay.
selection, right? Selection is still very
Okay.
human. I don't think AI is taking over that area anyway
Okay.
anytime soon. So so for example, hey, if I want to
Okay.
prioritize, hey, what should I build next month? Right? Of course, I have analytics, product managers, designers, developers can sit through it and try to
Mm.
do this. Whereas comparatively today, I remember in 2022, 2023, when we were building, we would go through those lengthy dashboards, try to slice and dice data. Hey, let's see what is being used more and where the impact is more. But today we can just ask AI to do that analysis very quickly. Instead of one day of analysis, we are probably done in an hour. So the decision comes faster,
Mm.
or the options to make decision comes
Mm.
faster to us.
Mm. Okay.
That's number
Okay.
one. Number two, once you have made a choice, now you would do research. So how my
Mm.
competitors are
Mm.
solving this problem? Is any
Mm.
of our competitors solving that problem at all? Or we are a unique
Okay.
offer we are providing? You would spend probably few days looking through around the reference,
Mm.
reading the documents, finding the documents. Today, I can just run a very detailed, well-written prompt, which can go do research on my behalf and generate a report in 30 minutes. Right? So my research is ready in terms of to start. See, again,
No, I think yeah. Yeah, so I want to just double click that particular point, right? Little
hmm,
bit, right? So can you tell me what was your previous workflow in terms of let's take an example, right? You used to collaborate with multiple people. There used to be product, there's engineering, there's you've been coming together and build a product. Now the teams have come in or shortened, have become smaller. Now you tell me what is your workflow? I want to look at a daily workflow of yours, right? How do you run it? Can you just walk me through that? So that, I want to just give the audience an exposure of what used to be the designer's workflow, a product designer or product builder's workflow, and how it has changed right now. Can you
Hmm.
take an example and me through 2 minutes? And of course, I want to know what is your current workflow, which is I've been seeing very closely how AI native your workflow is. I thought it's a good idea to share that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's one part when people ask me how many designers we have, I tell them like, hey, we have three, four designers. Me, ChatGPT, Gemini, Midjourney, and some other members who keep visiting like, here and there. So these are the design team members we have, and we build product together. See, I think the major advantage of AI in design workflow, if you integrate it neatly, is major efficiency boost, speed,
Mm,
accuracy,
mm,
right? See,
mm.
earlier when you would
Okay,
start
okay, okay.
with, let's say I start my day, or my team starts my day, right? We would have a task lined up for us. Now,
Mm,
the task I would start at a
mm,
slightly
mm,
higher in the pyramid is that, hey, we
mm,
have a decision to make what to build next, and that we do in a collaboration with product manager or engineer. So that's why I already mentioned that we can quickly
mm,
slice and dice data with the help of AI and see what
mm,
we need to build. All right. Number two is that when you start coming there today,
mm,
you don't really have to, while you are exploring
mm,
that, in what direction do I solve this problem? 2023, let me go there first, or before 2023, you
mm,
will look at some references, you would have some ideas which you will sketch on paper, maybe you will refer your internal design system or design library, and you
mm,
will
mm.
probably discuss and debate it over the whiteboard. And then you will
Okay.
probably put something called a low fidelity, not low fidelity as such, since Figma came, there's nothing low fidelity, everything is high fidelity, but I would say low resolution in terms of the idea. Not every detail is carved out.
Mm,
Low resolution solution out for people to discuss.
mm, mm,
That would take few days, right?
mm,
Depending on the size of
mm,
the work
mm.
item and all that stuff. Once you have agreement
Okay.
over there, then you will go make it high resolution. Again, in terms of the details, not in terms of the pixels, right? You'll make it a high resolution idea, detailing out each workflow and all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Cut to
Okay.
today, 2025. You have a feature to build.
Yeah. Okay.
First, you go to your favorite
Okay.
friend,
Okay.
ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, whatever you use, is that you say, hey, I'm building this, right? I'm scoping. This is what I'm aiming for. This is the impact I'm
Mm,
aiming for.
mm,
See, this is another change I'll tell you, Shri, which happens is when designers used to build or product builder
mm,
used to build, they immediately would become very
mm,
focused on what I'm going to deliver. And the nudge has to come from
mm,
external forces
mm.
or by
Okay.
reminding yourself that, hey, let's stay focused on outcome, not on the output. But today, when you start your building, you can say, hey, with your
Mm,
favorite AI, you can say, hey, this is what I'm building. See, there's nothing new anybody is building, right? You are probably making a better
okay.
version or a very, very specialized version
Mm,
for your
mm.
customers or for your solution. You can say, hey, this is what I'm building. This is the outcome I'm aiming for. This is what my thought process is right now. Can you debate with me?
Okay.
So my debate partner right now is
Okay.
an AI.
Okay.
And see, it does a wonderful job because it has
Okay.
accumulated massive amount of knowledge, which I'll come back to that. It's a very good knowledge partner. The selection is still on me. It gives me output. I make an assessment. This is something very interesting. I've never thought of it in this context. And then from there,
Okay.
once I
Okay.
shortlist that, okay, this is
Mm,
the direction. Now, with the collaboration of AI and me, this is the direction I want to take my solution. Before jumping into Figma, I still do sometimes
mm.
paper sketches. I take a photograph and I send it to my favorite AI
Okay.
again.
Okay.
I say, hey, this is what
Okay.
I'm thinking very broadly. You know, rest of the context. Like, can you help me build a flow out of this? And these are the bullet points which I have thought already. You should cover
Mm,
in this thing, but I also give you a liberty to fill in any gaps
mm.
which I might have missed, right? And it gives me a beautiful flow. It's not even a head start. I would say I start 5 kilometers ahead where I used to earlier. Right. And see, the point is, I'm not thinking about what design system I have, what my
Okay.
design
Okay.
library says, what we have done, what we have not done. And this is a functional prototype. If it is exciting, if it is solution, something which I'm excited about, I don't need to even go to Figma. I today come to you or come to our developers, like, the great team of developers, and say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm thinking. Like,
Mm.
look at this. Can we do it something like this? And the discussion happens right there.
Okay.
So all the
Okay.
lower resolution thinking, which earlier
Okay.
was a very
Okay.
intensive time-taking step, is happening much faster with the AI. And I think my Figma only gets involved when I come to the high resolution thinking part of it.
We'll continue. So this is interesting, right? So what you're saying, just to summarize, you basically you use your AI. I'm sure you're trained an AI companion for yourself.
Oh
It could be
yeah.
any model, anything, right? I would put it that way. I think, there's an AI companion which basically removes the dependency of yours having, let's say, you don't have to use a Lorem Ipsum placeholder copy because you could basically get a sensible copy for your UI. You could basically brainstorm different ideas, research about your feature, competitor, all great. Of course, even validate the design. So, which means that the whole process of building product, right, had a lot of iteration. I would say in the past, the frustration would be in that. Now, I think that is cut down by maybe like 10%, right? So that is phenomenal, right? But a lot of times, what I believe, Harsh, you know what? If you have to adopt something new,
Mhm.
generally, I'm a strong believer that you need to unlearn few things you've learned for a period of time,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
So I think let's say we have product managers, designers, I think hearing to this part, right? If someone is a product manager or designer, right, listening,
Hmm.
like what do you think they need to unlearn from the last decade? This has
Oh.
been, this is their muscle memory. So I mean, I want you to give me two things, two specific things which you think if they unlearn, maybe it
Hmm.
could be their habits or how they look at product building, which could help them adapt to AI. Maybe, I mean, I want to do another part where I want you to walk you through your actual workflow with your
Hmm.
AI
Hmm.
companion,
Hmm. Hmm.
design
Hmm.
companion, right? We'll do that in another part. But today, just give me two things which you think you unlearned in
Oh
the
wow.
last 12 months,
I
which you think will
absolutely
be helpful for people,
I absolutely think it deserves a podcast episode of its own. But yeah, I think the unlearning is, I think you nicely put, unlearning is the right word for what I've gone through in past 2 years. See, and we were fortunately were put in that situation where we had to be AI native in product building, where we had to
Mm-hmm.
think like that because we are a startup who are moving at a very fast pace and we want to, like, drive value faster for our customers. So we had no other option. But I think one thing
Mm-hmm.
is, I'll instead of two things, I'll say three things. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
put yourself in a mindset of unlearning before you unlearn things, which I'll come to two things. But put yourself in
Okay.
a mindset of unlearning because we had a forcing function. People who are listening to this, you might not have a forcing function yet, so you become your
Okay.
own
Okay.
forcing function of unlearning. I think the first thing,
Okay.
perfection and a perfect clarity is your enemy. Like, stop
Okay.
waiting for perfect clarity before shipping. You will never have it, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
I
Okay.
understand why product builders used to have used to aim for that, because the effort of building was high. It takes a long time,
Right.
a lot of effort. So
Right.
it's natural to be mindful of, like, less iteration, less errors. So let's try to bring as much as clarity. But hey, today, why you have still carrying forward that in your mindset? Today with the AI, your execution is
Okay.
dramatically cut. You can have multiple options. So you should just go, not wait for the perfect clarity, and go and build. I think that's one thing
Okay.
to unlearn, which I would say is a hangover from the era where execution used to be time consuming and costly, right?
Okay.
Now it's no more.
So yeah. So just to double click that, Harsh, I mean, it's a very important point. I think what you're saying is not about setting the bench, the bar high for the craftsmanship. What you're saying is that don't waste your time in iterating to find everything possible before you start building,
Exactly, exactly.
right?
See,
Okay,
your
cool.
output, which you throw to the customer, has to be high quality. You have to cross every T, dot
Correct.
every I, no doubt about it. But you don't start with that, right? Write your first
Okay.
draft,
Okay.
right? You can refine your story later, right? So you can
Okay.
build
Okay.
as you're building. But this is a mindset which have, because while even in the building process, because it's
Okay.
costly, it's time consuming, coding will take time, designing will take time. Hey, today those things don't take much time. You're coding with
Okay.
Claude,
Okay.
you're designing with the Gemini, like, you are debating with ChatGPT. Everything's move much
Mm.
faster. So if you're waiting for clarity, you're actually missing out the most advantageous feature you have in product building available to you today. Now,
Okay. Interesting.
to
What's
the
the next one?
second part, frameworks, which I would say is the extension of the first itself, because you want to be correct from the first time, you want to walk straight line from the start.
Okay.
You also depend on, hey, frameworks would help me do that, whether it's your design system or whether it's your development framework, all of that. People don't care about it.
Okay.
We have done it. We
Okay.
have created a prototype. We even didn't know. We just did a prototype with the cursor that, hey, we just want to build this. We want to see how it works. And later in the stage before shipping, we actually aligned it to our framework and our development, tech stack, which we wanted to. But during that time, while we were running that POC, we never cared about what Claude is or cursor is building on. So over indexing on framework is another trap. I think while you're building, you should feel like you are painting on a empty canvas
Okay.
rather than when you're trying
Interesting.
to paint a area in an already defined picture. I think that's where people limit. But I would say it's an extension of the first one itself. It's a side effect
Mm.
of the first thinking where you want to have a perfect clarity. And that's why you over index on the frameworks to help you with some part of that clarity. And I think the
Okay.
both are gone.
Interesting. Interesting. So I think let me summarize. I mean, very harsh, right? Very important point. So you said what you're saying is that stop waiting or stop iterating too much to know everything before you start shipping. Optimize for. I mean, there's a very important rule, right? I mean, 80% of customers look to use only the 20% of the features. So
True.
get to that quickly and ship fast is what you're saying. That's a very important point.
Yeah.
Second thing, what you're saying is that don't over index on frameworks.
Yeah.
Could be anything and everything you're talking about. Fantastic. Let me add one thing, one another thing. I think, Harsh, like in the world of AI, where everybody's trying to build AI and agentic and all of that, I think product used to be shielded behind a lot of things, a lot of
Hmm.
GTM teams, customer facing teams, and etc. Right? I mean, I think now products is directly exposing the outcome. Customers come to you to basically see outcomes delivered by the product. I think the product should change, from the past. Don't build, don't assume that you will have a huge team of onboarding engineers, support engineers, everything in between to get your products working and to
Hmm.
deliver the outcome. Rather, the product, the self-serve definition of the product in the age of AI and agentic world is to deliver outcome to the customers, to solve for the pain point directly and deliver 2x to 10x or even more impact on the customer. I mean, that's a big unlearning they should do. Don't assume that you're going to have a laundry of, a village to onboard your product going forward, right?
Correct.
Cool. So now, having said these three things, very important point. Of course, you said there has to be a mindset change to learn and learn. That's true. But I'm going to briefly talk about like Harsh from here. Let's say let's look forward, right? If
Hmm.
2025, I at least for us, it was a transition year. Like, what does 2026 demand for product teams, right? Let's focus on smaller teams. I mean, I believe in small teams, building larger things, high impact things. For small teams like ours, how do you think 2026? What do you think we should be up for?
Yeah, let me put it in a way where people know me using analogies. So I'll give an analogy, right?
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
don't be an orchestra, be
Don't
a
be an
jazz
orchestra.
band. See, orchestra is a
Okay.
very formal setup where musicians sit and play. Like, every note is well defined. You have a sheet in front of you. You have to play on the cue. You have to stop on the cue. You have to be at a pitch perfect. No improvisation, nothing, right? Compare it with the
Mm,
jazz session.
mm.
Nothing is
Okay.
defined. Everybody is sort of vibing with each other, right? By the way, coding probably comes from that, right? Everybody is
Mm.
vibing with each
Okay.
other. You are listening
Okay.
what is going on, and you are automatically, your musical instincts are feedbacking, with your instrument and your contribution to that music, and it's a beautiful music. So be a
Okay.
jazz band, not an orchestra going forward, which means what you said, outcome
Mm,
to your
mm,
customers, not features. They don't care
mm.
about how you are building. They don't care whether you are
Okay.
using AI or not. So if you are not
Okay.
using AI, be sure someone else who's using AI will ship faster than you and deliver
Okay.
value to your customer faster than you, right? So
Okay.
be a
Okay.
jazz band, not an orchestra. And AI native thinking has to be default. For that, if
Okay.
you don't
AI.
have a forcing function in your organization, your biggest job
Hmm.
is to become your own forcing function to be AI native thinker, right?
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
I think waiting for big launches, I think we can take inspiration from Google. They did a big U-turn. Google became like that big launch company like Apple, yearly like launch. Look what they're doing right now. I get random
Yeah.
like on Sunday I get a tweet, hey, we launched this. Then on Tuesday I get, we launched this. No announcements, nothing. They're just announcing it on Twitter. They are shipping small,
Yes.
continuously
Yes.
shipping
Yes.
small. They are no more focused on big launches, and I think that's the biggest contributor to the success which Google is having these days with Gemini and ChatGPT is concerned. But these are the three things I think. What do you think? I'm sure that you have more to add to that.
No, I think very, very true. I think that I will add to the last point, right? I mean, not just Google, I would look at OpenAI, look at, for the matter how, X is doing its product updates. I
Yeah.
mean, larger, huge millions of users, Anthropic for the matter of fact, right? Larger, huge user bases, but the way they operate like they're shipping for 100 users, right?
Hmm.
It's important to understand that customers understand that if you ship fast, there might be scenarios where things might break, but what customers appreciate is the continuous improvement,
Correct.
right? That's what really matters. So the product, I think, going forward will feel more alive. That's what I
Hmm.
would say, right? The customers are willing to adapt, they will respond, and AI will help you, surface insights without even you asking user. I mean, these are things which we should look at. And And Harsh, I think if you just quickly wrap it up, right? I think I would say like 2025 was quickly changing product building. Like
Hmm.
it has drastically changed the way I was thinking, way we were thinking. I mean, it's not because of one tool. I would say in general, I would say expectation has been the baseline of expectation as a product builder, as our customers have changed. And I think it's permanent. That's what I think,
Yeah, no, that's
right?
absolutely true. 2026 is going to be amazing for product builders.
Okay.
And I think it won't be the same for sure. 2025 not been same, so 2026 is bound to be very different. But it was
Okay.
fun. Like, I would say that reminding everything, recalling everything what we have done in 2025 and learned was amazing. I really appreciate you pulling me in this podcast and having an
No,
opportunity to
no.
recall everything.
Yeah, we should do more often. I think, for all the viewers. Harsh is a musician. He can sing. He can play multiple instruments. He can basically do design. He can do video editing. He's like multi-facet. So, I mean, feel free to reach out to him. And if you're a product builder, I think
Yeah.
here is an example of somebody who's adopted the new world. I think, and we would love to hear, what has changed for you as well. Keep us
Yeah.
posted. Keep your comments coming in.
And if we get 1,000 likes on this podcast, we'll probably do a singing session with Shri and Ramesh. Like,